Alright, hello everyone, my name is Disc. This is a 20 Skyreach, getting right into it here. Playing shield build, playing with Blaze of Light, Holy Ray, and Holy Damage. This first pull, very important to set the pace. With X-Boss, I'm tracking one trash timer, that's the AoE from the bird. Paying really close attention to bleeds and party. And here comes the first AoE. Fade on top of it. Evangelism for group healing. And the first AoE we're in the clear. So doing my best to use penance offensively. Keep dots spread. Really reliant on our Shadowmans. Ellesmere's UI for party frames and targeted casts. And that uppies could have been a little bit better timed with the group AoE. Melded that attack off, came back to me for a second time, love it. Shield and fade. And this next pull, actually we'll talk about it when we get there. Okay, Paladin down. I think he took aggro, I'd have to rewatch it. But since my last video, I only have one change to my UI, but it is a massive change if you ask me. And it's in line with how I used to play with weak auras. But I have my targets, debuffs, showing only one unit. And I have that unit placed on top of my penance. So basically what I'm doing is I'm helping myself know, is my penance free to fire, or is my target not holding a dot? So it happens probably once or twice per key where I notice I'm sending sadly 2 or 3 or 4 penance when my current target doesn't have a dot. And that is not good right now, because we need those Shadowmans. So I think that's a really nice improvement. My eyes are generally glued on my penance and my death cooldowns. And since penance and target dot are closely related, I put that little cell on top of my penance. Makes it really easy to parse that out. Okay, so we have PI. And with this boss, only tracking one timer. Fan of Blades. And I like putting my Mind Blast on cooldown, hold the buff, and bank it for the attack. So I'm free to unload the penance right when it happens. And an offensive penance plus a Mind Blast is really all you need to recover that attack. It's really not too threatening. A Radiance and a Mind Blast and a penance is all you need. And the cadence of that works out so that every single Fan of Blades should take a fade. I believe this is going to be Evangelism. Yep. Giving my Void Shield to anyone who's lower than the rest. Great use of Void Shield. And yeah, goes without saying, Oracle is mana hungry. I'm already at 30%. I think I ask for a small hold after boss, and they give me about 3 seconds. That's really all we need. But we have to hold meld. Desperate Prayer since I was picked. We have to hold meld through the next couple of pulls, because we need it to mitigate the beam from those big trash guys coming up. Okay, and this is definitely also where we want to place our second uppies. Looks like it's 20 seconds away. Radiance, Mind Blast, offensive penance. Here comes a PI. Don't like this one. Whoa. So we had a discussion about PI. This was a second attempt in a row. The shaman was asking me to give it to his ascendants, which I can't track. I suppose shamans might have more to gain from haste than the Death Knight. But I guess the way I feel is I hold the right to give it to whom I want, and the Death Knight is far outperforming the shaman. If anyone has notes on that, feel free to let me know. And I am really loving that target debuff frame on top of my penance. Doesn't do much on a boss, but it's going to help a lot on trash. Yeah, it either tells me, am I free to cast my penance? Is my target holding a dot? Or like, do I need to cast a dot, you know? Okay, always good to play a dot and a penance first. Put at least one of your penance on cooldown. Defensive penance for our tank, followed by a paints up. I believe after that boss, I was sitting at a 2-stack for the paints up. Never really want to be there if you can help it. I consider that loss. Just got PI. The Death Knight. Talked about it before, but with our shield, it's a very frequent spell. I can direct it when I need to with mousing over, but I also have separate keybinds to fire at myself or at tank with a custom macro. Yeah, I talk about it a lot, but we have a handful of spells in our book which are very frequent, which involve mousing over. I don't like to mouse over all the time for such frequent spells. So turning them into just a key press without the mouse over, really nice. Okay, we do want to meld here if we're picked. And with Ellesmere's UI, you can see it on the left side of party frames. It shows targeted casts. Okay, I'm picked again. Both my defensives. We have one paints up in the chamber, and I believe we use it on the paladin. I think he gets a double. Someone gets a double. But yeah, that targeted cast for healers, invaluable. It gives you an advantage to where you don't have to fully react to something. Oh, I get a double. Oh, wow. Yeah, paints up, health pushing, defensive pints into myself. And thankfully we lived. Oh, Paladin gets one too. Cringe. But yeah, targeted casts are major for these spells. Come in real handy for other spells as well, for other attacks. Gives you an advantage where you're not having to fully react and you can kind of prepare and think ahead. Okay, so this is a mana break. I'm pretty sure I need full mana here. We'll see where I land after boss. So I'm tracking Energize and Supernova is a pretty common cadence here, where every other attack is stronger paired with the Supernova. Fade on every single time you take a beam. You do have uppies up, and I might want to use it first here just to get it rolling. Okay, so here comes the heavier round with the Supernova, and with the beams at this level, you really want to share them. So I see that the shaman's in front of me. I offer some of my health to the beam and then I step out. And not a bad idea to practice that in lower level keys, but definitely mandatory in higher level keys. But yes, that was my uppies round. Went ahead and put it on cooldown. And whenever I can with Mind Blast, you saw it on the last boss, I went ahead and put Mind Blast on cooldown, banked the proc, but then didn't use the proc until it was time. Shared my health again with the shaman. And for this next round, all I have are personals and a paints up. No uppies, no evangelism. So let's see how I play it. Definitely probably going to play a personal here. Yep. Defensive penance. And someone might have to grade me here, but I would say it's probably like a 60-40 split of defense versus offensive penance. The higher the key, the more defensive penance you're gonna want. We did just get PI. We have evangelism, which will be great for this upcoming supernova. PI went onto the shaman this time. I think their argument was they do better single target, so I'll give it to him. I really would like a void shield proc here. Baited before the supernova, and we were A-okay. And I think it also goes without saying, the tank doesn't really need much focus here. It's everyone else. So void shields I'm not sending to the tank. And we see some really nice play here from the Death Knight, bouncing in and out of the beam. Mechanically, you have to sit in it for like a second and a half or something for it to take damage. So if you're free from a beam, you can just kind of like run between two of them back and forth. Desperate Prayer and Fade are used, anticipating a supernova. So in watching myself back, a better play anytime you're using Desperate Prayer, I think delay it a little bit. So if you watch that last beam back, I Desperate Prayered, I guess a little too early to cover for the supernova. So I think a better play is delay your Desperate Prayer more. That way it covers the supernova. Okay, so I put dots on both of the humans, the bigger guys. They're a little bit more pink with their nameplate. Giving a couple of casts here just to general rotation, putting penance on cooldown. What I'm trying to do here is spread my dots. My very last cast is Refreshing Atonement on the tank. And then I meld drink out. Again, I don't know what I would do without meld. Okay, but we have PI, we have both pain sups, evangelism, uppies in 20 seconds, full mana, good to go. And like the previous boss, every other round is going to be a little bit more difficult because of movement. Definitely want to use penance to our advantage to spread our dot to the small bird. And definitely want to attack the small bird too. PI the shaman for single target. Trying to play my Mind Blast preceding the attack so that I can fully unload my penance. Here comes one that's a little bit harder. Radiance into evangelism for all of the heals. I'm having a problem casting there. Yeah, I use focus targeting. I think everyone knows that. This is not a good fight to use focus targeting. So I think I turn it off on the next round. Well, not good to use focus targeting how I use it. Okay, we do have uppies though. I'm thinking I'm going to use it on the next phase, which involves the move. Mind Blast preceding the damage, just holding that buff. A Penance to spread my dot first, then the uppies, and we're golden. Void Shield for the person with lowest health. Mind Blast preceding the attack, banking the buff. Fade on every Sunbreak the best you can. Penance to spread my dot. And attack the small bird. We are but a priest, but you want to attack that bird. Okay, we have Evangelism, PI's coming up. This is the second round. Radiance into Evangelism. Desperate Prayer. And this is a good place to dump spells, because we have Fat after this. So PI's out. Fade anticipating the Sunbreak. Penance to spread my dot. Grabbing executes when I can. So with this build, I wouldn't mind hearing other people's points of view. Shadow Word Death is like a spell I don't really play that much. But this is a place where Blaze of Light comes in real handy in our talents. Get really fast movement. But yeah, Shadow Word Death, I'm not playing Expiation, I'm not playing any of the talents involving shadow spells or death. So I think I play it like if I have to move. I play it maybe if there's an execute in the field, but I'm not really even striving for executes. But in this moment, what I am trying to do is bank palms. And I'm already thinking this pull can get a little bit woolly for the tank especially, but honestly the whole group. So playing on heavy defense, trying to favor defensive penance. Staggered in a pain sup after his bark skin, very important to not overlap here. We need all the coverage we can get. Evangelism for extra. Mind Blast into a defensive penance for the tank. And love seeing that sack on him from the paladin. But he overlapped his bark skin. I might have could have played that a little bit better. Paying close attention to our bleeds. Shadowman 1, defensive penance the other. We just got PI, and I think I had an internal dialogue of, do I hold? The answer was no, this pull is not over. Another paints up. Big void shields for our bleeds. Flash shields, defensive penance for the bleeds. I think we're about out of the water here. And I do believe I also meld here. Yep. So everyone's atoned. The last remaining mob has a dot for some passive healing. And that was not the best meld because we had a bleed mechanic still happening. But I did get to 40%. And I'm telling him he can go. So I believe on this hill here I fade. I really just don't want to be seen at all while aggro is gathering. We do have uppies. Gonna want to use it here just for the uptime. And watch what happens when I fall out here. I lost movement. I don't know what happened, but it almost killed me. Defensive penance for the tank. And compared to the other dungeons, I've not run them all on 20s yet. This hallway takes more defensive penance for the tank than most. Combat ends, refresh a palm. Set my focus and skull early on the big guy. A great place for Shadow Meld, but it's on cooldown. And of course I'm picked first. Both defensives. A defensive penance as well. PI is out. That could have been a better Void Shield. So Void Shield will automatically default to anyone missing health, and I should have waited for those bleeds to tick down. Would have hit both of them. But I was picked with that again. Still no meld, still no defensive, so I took a Paints Up. These bleeds are no joke. Defensive penance. I love gripping on that attack. But yeah, through here too, we also have one spell we're tracking on nameplate. It is the group AoE from the bird. That is our X-Boss. Really important to see that so we can counter it. You know, one thing you can do is cue your Mind Blast for that. That's generally enough. And that was the case too with my Radiance. I lost range on the tank, so I Radianced the Shaman, and it healed the tank. It made it like an 80-yard range heal, essentially. Okay, I am going to want full mana for boss. We're sitting at 22%, and I have Meld. So I'm already thinking, let's get this big guy down, let's get through these threatening mechanics. Playing Fade on top of the AoE when you can. I believe I shielded and I shielded myself on top of that single target. And here's our meld. Let's see how much mana I get before I have to stand up. I think I get full, which is what we want. So PI is available, Evangelism is available. 1 1/4 Paints Ups. And on this boss, we're only tracking one spell. We have to be really thoughtful about how many times someone's getting picked. If last time they were picked, they used their personal. And we kind of have to do some thinking on the fly. So personals anytime you can when you're picked. Defensive penance are major here, and Paints Ups on your allies if they're picked too much. Banking Void Shield procs for after the damage goes out to make sure it covers. Okay, we have PI, but I think what I'm doing is waiting for Bloodlust. We have 8 seconds. Oh, the shaman died there? I didn't see that first time. Okay, I'm falling a little bit behind here. I think I was a little bit spooked as this fight started. There's Bloodlust. There's PI. Okay, I'm picked. Great time for uppies. When you are selected, it pretty much mitigates it fully. I still have both my personals for the next round. And I could do better for the team here by attacking the ad. But I think the best I do is just spread my dot and then let them handle it. This also might be a good fight for me not to use focus targeting. Okay, we had a nice AMZ to cover this attack. I believe he AMS'd it too. Okay, so I'm picked. Faded. Arguably could have delayed my fade, but that's okay. Also queued my health push in there, so I'm slap out of defensives. This one takes a paints up. Okay, we did get evangelism. And I'm trying to think like to grip the shaman, but he's on his own right now. Okay, I'm picked again. I'm holding a shield. Played my fade. Mind blast, evangelism, defensive penance. And I think sometimes you just have to send a void shield, but a slightly better play, I think when you can, play it after the beams go out, because your 3 shields will default to those or dotted. Okay, PI in 3. Shaman's picked, but he's covered. Something I try and think about is watching who has an active defensive, and then I heal someone else. Okay, that was a better void shield. Defensive penance. Picked again. We're going to want fade here. And we really have nothing left but a little bit of mana. So doing my absolute best to conserve. We are slap out of mana, but the boss is just about dead. But yeah, Ellesmere's UI for the win with targeted casts. Better Blizz plates for our nameplates. X-Boss for trash cooldowns on nameplate for the win. And yeah, I'm going to do my best to hold on to the 1%. I believe I have that firmly in place now. But not sure if I want to put in that work until August. But yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. I know this was a duplicate Skyreach, but it was a 20, which I think is fair game for the channel. But yeah, check me out on Medify if you would like to link for a private lesson. Like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, Disc out.